You're watching Betting Weekly Fight Life on the Bet Rivers Network.
Welcome to Betting Weekly Fight Life. I'm your host, Kyle Andrew, and joining me is Betting Weekly Studios resident fight expert, Mr. Paul Hughes. Paul, we were expecting last week another Fight Night card for it to be kind of a stinker, and it really wasn't. It was pretty entertaining. There were some good fights. There were some good bangers. What are the chances that delivers 2 weeks in a row?
You know what? I'm not going to say it's like small because like at the end of the day, these Apex ones randomly just produce these bangers, with the with the cage being different, everything, loads of different variables. And I don't know, I feel like people bring it more. Maybe it's because maybe they're more well hydrated or anything because they're in the PI a few days before and they're doing things properly. Maybe that's something to do with the level of performance. I don't actually know what it is, but the Apex either brings an absolute shocking card or an amazing card. It doesn't feel like any in between.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, maybe they're less nervous. There's all of the variables you mentioned are actually quite good. There could be a lot of reasons for it, but there was great fights on last week's card. Your official picks, 3-0 last week, and we also featured a bunch of pretty good leans mentioned in conversation last week. Hoping that we can replicate that again this week. But before we get to Paul's best bets for this weekend's UFC Fight Night, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Betting Weekly Studios to get more for Fight Life and get notified of all the great betting shows on Betting Weekly. Paul, why don't we just hop right into it here? We have a pretty compelling main event to take a look at, featuring, of course, Mr. Roman Dolidze, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. When I first saw the line, I thought it was a little wide, but the more I've thought about this fight, I kind of can't help but agree with it. How about yourself?
I'm kind of like the opposite. When I first saw the line, I was like, yeah, Fluffy minus 400 seems fine. And then when I look at it, it's like Dolidze, his sweeps are pretty elite. He hits hard. He's got these weird submissions like great grappler. But then when I just come down to it, it's just Fluffy is just other than Marab, like the best pacer in the UFC. Like he just destroys you. Like that's what he does. He wants to grapple for 25 minutes hard because he knows he's going to do it harder. He's going to do it more than you. He's going to be fresher at the end, and it's proven to be a success in like all of his fights where that happens. Like he gets consistent takedowns and he like breaks people. Like, did you see the Michelle Pereira? He looked dead in that fight.
I actually just rewatched that fight early this morning to have another look at who Fluffy was, right? And that was an absolutely epic beatdown. Like it was, and Pereira's a tough guy to do that to. It's just, that's the one that kind of really put me over going, you know what? No, this line, if anything, it might be a little too close. Now, Dolidze's never been finished. He's lost recently to a person who's a title contender now. He is, like, what do we got right now? Dolidze's on a 3 straight win streak. Hernandez is 7 straight wins. Dolidze's fought better competition, but not like the elite of the division either. So that's kind of a toss-up to me. This might be a bridge too far for Dolidze, and that might be what the odds are reflecting.
Yeah, I feel like against this level of competition, he's pretty solid against the level below. So like he went up and fought Anthony Smith, who doesn't have much skill at all. Like he's just kind of just big. And he quits. And he won that at light heavyweight, which he didn't really look out of place. He was pretty big and physical and looked pretty strong there. Holland's a bit of a quitter. He got took down and Holland quit, hurt his rib, but then he was fighting 3 weeks later as he normally does. I can't say he wasn't injured.
It's not an unfair statement. It's not an unfair statement. Like Holland's a wild card. It's very tough to watch someone fight Holland and then decide who they are as a fighter because you just never know with Holland.
Yeah, but the thing I like about this fight is that Dolidze has been hard 5 rounds with Marvin Vettori, a pretty durable guy. Hernandez can get hurt, but he's been finished to the body before. Like he is a bit soft there, you could say. You know what I mean? As his name is literally Fluffy. Like his name is literally, that's for a reason.
Sure. Yeah.
But he he's able to like survive and he does well. You know, he's a great wrestler. He'll just come out and then just take you down instead. Like they've both been hard 5 rounds. Like Fluffy's been the distant. Like you know, he finished Michelle Pereira in the 5th round, and Fluffy being in more 5 round fights now. Hernandez, that is, for anyone confused. It just kind of just fits him. As we said, he's got an insane gas tank. Like I'd say second best in the UFC, comfortably just behind Marab, who's an anomaly. But there's no one who can really compete with him. That, and again, he's gonna be a bit of a marauder. He's gonna go forward. He's gonna grapple, and I think this is gonna go. I don't know. I think like late round props is like a good look for Hernandez, like the championship rounds, because Dolidze, you know, he hasn't been like the greatest cardio across his career. He looked pretty decent against Vittori, but as a whole, and he's getting older, I think Hernandez can kind of break him late, while he's still probably at 100% out in round 5. But yeah, I think the finish line on Hernandez is pretty -113. I don't think there's any point playing that. The thing that I was looking at the most, which is like a nice way to get with Hernandez, a nice way of Roman being durable, as he said, he's never been finished. I like Fluffy Hernandez over 5.5 takedowns at Bet Rivers. I thought that was a pretty good way to get with this fight. He had 10 in his fight against Pereira, as you mentioned. He had 6 against Shabazian, which was only went 3 rounds and he won by KO. He had 9 against Marc-Andre Barriou, which went 3 rounds. He went 8 against Josh Friends, which was a 3-round decision, and now he's going 5 rounds against someone who's notoriously pretty durable. Do you know what I mean? Like in Dolidze, he kind of like if he thinks Fluffy's doing something stupid with his head, he's just going to take himself down, and that's going to be a takedown landed for Hernandez. He's going to jump the guillotine, and he's probably not going to get it because I think he's pretty good in that area. And Dolidze, as I mentioned at the start, when you were watching tape on Dolidze, did you see how good his sweeps were?
Yeah.
Like when he's just on his back, and then that's if he wants to be standing up, even though he's a grappler at nature. His sweeps are insane. There is a chance he just like sweeps Hernandez a couple of times, gets back up, and then gets instantly taken down. And this line is like 4 takedowns after 6 minutes of fighting, and Hernandez is gonna push a pace for the next 20 minutes. And then you're like, this is looking like an insane bet. But yeah, I think this just has to be the way if you want to get with Hernandez and then sprinkle the late round props as well.
I have to tell you, Paul, I didn't see this on the board when I was looking for a bet here, but this is a phenomenal pick. This is great line at -106, and I'm going to provide some supporting statistics before we move on for the viewers at home. So Fluffy outstrikes opponents 2-1, which gives him the opportunity to soften someone up and make them more susceptible for a takedown, which he averages 7 per 15 minutes. The over is 5.5, and it's a 25-minute fight. And everything you just said about Dolidze and the fact that he's never been finished means this will go late. Look at the round odds. Over 3.5 is -149, not even worth -141. Sorry, not even worth taking. This is a great pick, Paul. Honestly, like it really, really is. And this is probably exactly how this fight should go. I see a 49-46 for Hernandez or something like that. But within that amount of takedowns is going to be his path. It just, like, you know, it's a fight. Anything can happen. But those are my supporting statistics for your pick here. And I think it's a really, really good one because I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. The gas tank, the fact that Dolidze's never been finished, he's going to be game for this. They both have a lot on the line here. This will be the game plan.
I think like the only way this like doesn't is if like Dolidze just comes out and starches him.
Well,
like,
sure.
I don't think Hernandez. Yeah, I'm saying I don't think that's very likely in the same sense. I think if this is going, as you mentioned, that's what I was going to talk to you next about the round odds. Over 3.5 at -140. Like they're expecting this to go at least 20 minutes. And if he's averaging 7 and 15 minutes, you know, and against Dolidze, who's not the best defensive wrestler, I think he'll accept bottom because again he's a natural grappler. Like and he will do the sweeps, get up, get taken down again, which is probably going to happen once or twice in this fight at least. I don't know. When I saw this, I was thinking this just has to be the bet that we take. Yeah,
I think it's a great pick, Paul. Honestly, it's going to be an entertaining fight to watch. It should go this way. Of course, Dolidze could walk out there and starch him. He has the power in his hands to do that, but that's the risk you face in the fight
Yeah.
game all the time anyways. I would like to think that Fluffy is well enough prepared to at least weather an early storm if that's the path Dolidze goes. But before we move on, if you like what you hear on our show, sign up for our newsletter, get exclusive tips and free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at bettingweeklystudios.com. Paul, let's hop right into the next fight. An old familiar friend, Mr. Steve, I'm very pale in photos, Erceg versus Odi Osbourne. Let's be very clear about the setup here. Odi Osbourne is a last-minute replacement for Park, who was fed as a sacrificial lamb to Tatsuro Taira last week on Fight Night, which, that went about the way you would have expected. The finish was secure. Yeah, we cashed, and that's exactly what went down there. This is an interesting fight for a lot of reasons. What do we even know about Odi Osbourne coming in against someone like Steve Erceg?
This is, when you look at Osbourne's level of competition, this is just a huge step up. Erceg's coming off a very close loss to Pantoja, obviously a couple fights ago now, but he won the decision and he sold the fight by going for 2 takedowns at the end. And if he didn't, we can see on the scorecards, he would have won the fight. If it was just like he didn't try and do something, I don't know, I think he's trying to catch him off guard or try and show he's a better wrestler, whatever was going through his head. Didn't really make sense. But if that stays on the feet, Erceg's a world champion. Mm-hmm. And now 2 fights later, he's fought the number 1 contender and someone who just fought for the belt in his last fight, Kai Kara-France and Brandon Moreno.
Yeah.
And now he's against Odi Osbourne. It's like the level of competition disparity here is like insane, like crazy level of drop down.
We've seen a lot of that lately too.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, when you're looking at Erceg, he is definitely top level. As he proved with 25 minutes against Moreno and Pantoja, had moments of success across all of his fights. Osbourne, as you were saying, what do we know about him? We know he is a gasser. He comes out round 1 hard, he throws everything hard, he goes for the finish. The round 1 is going to be chaos, which is kind of okay for Erceg because, again, on the back foot, he's able to land these strikes when Osbourne's coming in. I think he's going to do pretty well. Mm-hmm. The thing that a lot of people I thought didn't know, which was originally going to be my angle, that Erceg, his submission game's quite elite. And although we haven't seen that recently, I think you can tell by the line of Bet Rivers plus 165. It's like, they know what's going on here. And I think we've seen a lot of money come for that as well. At the start of the week, it was like plus 250, plus 2 something. And now it's down at plus 165. I think the grappling edge here is absurd. Erceg could insta-sub him here.
When I was making my notes looking for a line on this card, I have written Erceg submission ? Because half of his pro wins have been by sub, and Odi has been subbed 4 times. Yeah. And this is back to what you said about when you come in on a short notice fight, you almost always have to come in and try and empty the tank in the first round especially against someone like Erceg, because you're just not prepared for this. And Erceg is a veteran fighter. He's the level of competition, the champ, a former champ, a title challenger over his last 3 straight losses. Who is he losing to is the thing, though, right? Let's not just say, he's lost 3 in a row, because Odi came off a win, but he lost a pile before that. So I also think this is out of necessity a statement fight for Erceg one way or the other. He needs a performance here, does he not?
Absolutely, yeah. And the thing as well, which I think will play into the factor, it's upper weight class. Osbourne doesn't have to cut all the weight because, again, it's short notice. I think that was the reason why. And I think Erceg in this grappling and where Osbourne has obvious holes, him being even stronger coming into this fight is going to only play to his advantage in the when he's going for those takedowns, when he's shooting in. And I think you can kind of you could ragdoll Osbourne on that, and Osbourne again is a gasser. And I think Erceg plus 165 submission isn't that bad, I feel. But again, at the same time, I think when Osbourne's coming in crazy on the feet, if Erceg catches him, he can switch his lights out. So that's kind of why I got to my pick. And I think it's just, again, it's a bit juicy, but minus 130 just for Erceg to win by finish. I feel like it's just the obvious play. I feel like it's just a must play with how many different ways he can win. I said that we've seen him knock people out. We've seen him sub, especially in the UFC. We've seen his hands more. Yeah. And Osbourne comes in, he's there to be hit. And I think Erceg, he's able to find those punches. Again, it could be like a club and sub as well. I don't know. Erceg has so many different ways to finish this fight. He grows into fights. He builds into fight. Osbourne's probably going to be pretty exhausted if this goes 3 rounds. And I think Erceg's going to find some way to finish him, whether that's in the grappling, taking him down and submitting him, or laying him out on the feet. But I can only see Erceg winning by finish in this one.
Yeah, Paul, honestly, point well taken here. The sub is obviously tempting, but because of Ode has a negative striking differential too, and Erceg dominates in all meaningful striking categories in going into this fight too. So I don't like the idea of taking the other finishing methods off the board here, but I like the idea of going with the finish because, frankly, I really think Erceg needs a finish and needs a performance here to get his career back on track. And again, I'm not coming down on the guy for his last 3 losses because they are against the absolute elite of the elite. But I feel like going to decision with Ode Osbourne here would feel like a loss, and I don't think that's an unfair statement to make.
I think he knows that too. Again, as we said, the skill level differential here is absurd. Like, Erceg should be coming out here, and anything less than a finish, he shouldn't be happy with. And I think he knows that. And I think that's what we'll get. So, yeah, Erceg to finish, minus 130.
All right. That's a good official pick as well, too. We're looking forward to Steve Erceg putting something on the board for us. And, folks, just want to quickly say, if you like the shows on Betting Weekly Studios, take a moment to follow us up at our social handles at Because We Win on Instagram and X. You can see the handle there on the screen. And we're going to remove it and move on to the next fight. Old friend Angela Hill. Not calling her. What's that?
There.
It's hey, listen, that's a UFC's official photo. I was mildly concerned it wasn't going to fit into our actual shot, but here we are. Yasmin Lucindo, Angela Hill, money line's pretty close on this. Do you think it's reflective of what we're going to see here?
Somewhat. I mean, start on Lucindo. She's obviously young, growing every fight, and I think she is a really good grappler. I don't think she has much of elite finishing instincts though, which is, I'll take that back. I think she does against people of lesser like ability, but Angela Hill is like as durable as they come.
Yes.
In the UFC, I think we've seen that. And I don't know, we can see by the numbers that no one's expecting to finish her. Minus 770 over 2.5 rounds. Like, come on. But that's to say, Angela Hill doesn't really finish anyone either, so we know this is probably one that's going to go the distance. I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. But
she's lost 12 times by decision, and her last 8 losses were all decision losses. That's Angela Hill I'm referring to right now.
Yeah, exactly. But I like Hill to be able to make this a bit closer than the odds suggest. I'm not going to make an official play, but I think plus 155 is like she's very tested. She knows how she maximizes her path to victory at this stage, which is like getting in the clinch, landing these knees against the cage, or like landing some big shots. She kind of knows how to win over the judges by now, being 40 years old and I'm almost 30 fights in the UFC. Even though she has her record isn't as great as it like should be on paper, because I think she's 12-13 or 13-14, something like that in the UFC. But she's had a lot of close decisions go.
She's better than those numbers. She is.
Yeah, like every single time it's like, oh, Angela Hill, she's probably won this fight, but it's going to a decision and she loses. And you're like, I feel bad for her. And then it happens 5 times and you're like,
yeah.
She can't catch a break.
Yeah. I really like her as a fighter. Before we move to the next fight, like I was looking, I'll be honest with you, I'm likely to sprinkle a very tiny amount on a Hill upset here just because I like her. This is an interesting fight in that Lucindo is almost half of Hill's age. Like, it's very close. You don't see that a lot in the UFC. Like, you see sometimes 12, 14-year age gaps, but almost half her age. There's a maturity factor to Angela Hill's game. She's got a good gas tank. She can kind of do a little bit of everything here and there. She's a good, experienced fighter. That might take over here, and that might be enough. If that line moves even further apart, I'm definitely going to sprinkle something on Hill here.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either, and I still might do it just because I like her. I have a bit of a lean for the upset here, I would say, but I would also not make an official pick, and you don't have one for this fight?
Nah, I'm passing as well.
Yeah,
I think
okay.
Hill can make it closer than it is, though. Plus
I think
155.
it's an entertaining fight. I think I'd like to see more from Lucindo. She's so young. I think she's only 23.
23, yeah.
And we'll see. This is a very, very good test for her. I feel like moving.
I think she's
through
going to
her
come
career.
good, though, in a future fights. I feel like she's going to keep learning, and she has a lot of potential there. And when she gets some more favorable matchups, I think she's going to build up her confidence and be something
Yeah.
in the UFC. But, yeah.
All right, let's just hop right into the next fight. Andre Touchy Fili, Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez, terrible photography posture. I hate his posture in this photo. It makes me feel bad. I think this, to be honest with you, I feel like this fight has a bit of upset potential too. Odds upset though, although I don't know. I don't know what to make of this one, to be perfectly honest with you, and I accidentally erased half my notes for it.
Fair enough.
Take it, Paul.
Thank you. I was just looking there because I think something's wrong on the screen there. It says Christian Rodriguez plus 2,800 sub. That's definitely not the case. I'm going to get
that's fine.
I'm getting that up while I talk about Christian Rodriguez. He's up at featherweight for this fight, which I'm not sure I like for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why he's moved up. I feel like maybe he was the weight class. He's plus 475 at Bet Rivers for submission. So
plus 475. Okay.
Plus 475, which is kind of why I looked at that straight away and noticed it, because that's kind of where I want to go on the lean here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cirod's grappling is elite. Like his jiu-jitsu is again very top level. Outside of that, Fili's obviously bigger and longer, but I feel like in the clinch, even though he's coming up a weight class, Cirod will have the physicality edge there. And Fili, he kind of he got himself subbed in his last fight. I can't remember who was it against. Melchizedek, who he also lost. He kind of just might not have been his last. Was it his last fight?
It was Costa.
Yeah,
he kind of
just like. He was kind of like, no, you're doing it wrong. Let me put my head where you meant to choke me out. And he was.
I remember watching that live, and that's exactly like, what are you doing? Like, yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to get a read on the way that ended, right? Yeah. Cub Swanson before that, a split decision.
Yeah. He gets hurt in every fight as well, which goes anything, which is obviously C-Rod's not the greatest of the strikers, when it comes to like power and stuff. Obviously coming up a weight class, I don't think it's going to translate as much as well.
Yeah.
But I think the grappling edge, he has a big edge there. Plus 475 to win by sub, I think it's worth a bit of pizza money, as the people like to say.
Sure.
I think, as he said, if Fili's going to aid him and tell him how to submit him, it could look even better. But I think his jiu-jitsu is like above Melchizedek Costa's. And Fili, how many losses does he have by sub in the UFC now? It's a couple. So the 3 on his record.
Yeah.
So I know he does a bit of grappling.
Both of these guys lost their last fight to Costa, which is interesting, right?
C-Rod as well. Oh my God, I could not believe he lost that fight. Rewatching it back, it's like in the 3rd round, he literally bullied him.
Yeah.
Like he had such a big edge and everything. I don't know. I feel like if that fight goes again, he would be a bigger favorite than he was, even though he lost. It's kind of insane. But yeah, no official pick, but C-Rod sub, I think plus 475. You can't really go wrong. Fili hits hard. He's probably going to make it a war while it lasts. If it does go a decision, obviously I think C-Rod can have control time upside as well. Fili could crack as well. I wouldn't mind that if you want to get with Fili by like some KO or something interesting. But yeah, I think Rodriguez will be the minutes winner, and I think that's why he's minus 265.
Yeah, I think I'm just a passenger for this one as well too. But I am actually looking forward to the fight. It could be not entertaining, but at the same time, it does have some explosive potential depending on what these guys come out doing. So, just enjoy the fight, folks. Just enjoy the fight. It should be interesting. We'll see. Probably going to be completely wrong about it, but I see a little bit of upset potential there. But I would not make an official play on it either, to be quite frank. So let's keep moving here. Miles John, Gene Matsumoto. Heavy favorite Matsumoto in this fight. How do you see it going?
Feels deserved. I think Matsumoto is the goods, honestly, in the UFC. I feel I bet Rob Font against him in his last fight. I won that fight. I didn't feel good about it at all. I think that was one of the, every single time when you bet on something, it's a robbery, you feel like you lose. And then that was the one I was like, oh, they're kind of paying me back there. But Matsumoto, he's really good. He's 16-1 now. I think he won that font fight. And if he's,
A lot of people do.
Things are so like it's such a I can't think of the phrase, but like if he how different he's looked at now compared to if he won that fight. If he beat Rob Font, he would have beat like a top 7 bantamweight and would be 17-0 undefeated prospect if he got that decision. Like that's how like narrow the lines are in this game. Like he's then looked at like, oh, he's a title eliminator next. And now he's fighting a lot lower level of competition than Miles Johns, who can make things kind of scrappy. So what he does, but I think Matsumoto is just a level above him, as we've said a couple of times. But yeah, I feel it's just a big skill level disparity. I think the sub's not bad at plus 525. I think he's good positional submission artist when he gets the chance. But decision minus 130, it's that for a reason. It's probably going to end like that. But I think Matsumoto wins this comfortably.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Matsumoto's just better on the feet, better on the ground. Johns could be a dangerous striker, but his footwork's not very good. Like, it's the any given Sunday theory, but it's really tough to pull something out of here. I agree with you about getting robbed of Rob Font. There was that kind of odd way that fight started, and I don't know if that...
the glove touch?
The glove touch thing. Yeah, it's just... it's not a good look. But it is what it is. I mean, it's within their right to do that. This, you know, this fight's going over 1.5 and 2.5, and so do the odds makers. There's not really anything to pull off the board there. But you never
I've taken no chances.
No chances at all. But like, I don't. This is one of those ones where, like, with Matsumoto, he might be hunting a finish here, right? Just to put it on the board that's how that ended. I don't know if I would sprinkle on it, but it's likely a pass for me as well. But if I was leaning, I would actually lean the finish here just because I feel like, and not even from a technical analysis point of view, I think he could really use it, to be honest with you. And why not go out there and hunt it if you could potentially get it? So, sorry, Paul. You did not have an official play on that one, right? Sorry, I'm going to go back to that.
I didn't know. I lean the sub, as I said, but I think, yeah, a club and sub, I'm going to say is my prediction for a bit of fun. He has good front chokes, which, obviously if Johns is shooting in, he could latch something up. But I don't know. I don't think it's likely at the end of the day. I might do it for a bit of fun, as you do something, if you're feeling something, you're on a bit of a heater.
Pay for a pizza sort of thing, yeah.
There you go. But no official pick for me.
Yeah, no official pick for you. This has 30-27 written all over it to me, as far as I can see. So, okay, let's just get into the opening fight of the card and the last fight that we will be discussing from this 6-fight main event. Eric Anders, Christian Leroy Duncan. Probably don't need to stay on this one too long. Those odds are that way for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah, I think CLD should just roll here. Eric Anders, he gets hurt in every fight, and it's against lower level of competition. I mean, Weidman at this stage of his career dropped him in the first. He got dropped by Jamie Pickett. Should have finished that fight realistically, Jamie Pickett. Who else dropped him? I was watching it earlier on. I wrote it down. Marc-Andre Barrios dropped him as well.
Yeah, that fight went to 3-2, did it not?
Yeah, and Anders finds a way to win them. He's on a couple fight win streak at this stage. But if Christian Leroy Duncan doesn't finish him here, I think he's going to be pretty disappointed. I think, again, I was toying with it, but when I looked at the fight originally, I was like, okay, I'm taking CLD KO here. But just the lack of urgency I saw in his last fight against Puliev when I was watching it.
Thank you.
And Puliev just kind of didn't want to engage, and then CLD just kind of just went, okay, well, if you do want to, I'm just going to stand here and do nothing as well. And it was like, oh, what are you doing, man? Maybe, as you said, maybe it's a bad taste in his mouth and it motivates him to go out there and put on a performance, but I can't bank on that. So
yeah, I mentioned those intangible type of things like that, but it's not necessarily the wisest perspective to speculate what a fighter needs to do with their career, because at the end of the day, they're always going to fight to get the W. Is that plus 190 KO, TKO, DQ tempting to sprinkle? Yeah, sure. It would be my lean, but I don't know that I have enough confidence in, how Eric is going to come out of the gate for this one and how CLD is just going to perform, period, because of exactly what you just said, that lack of urgency. That urgency is a finisher's trait, right? And not an unmanaged urgency, not a wild urgency, but you can tell when someone wants to finish a fight, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, pretty much the same boat there. I want to take the plus 190. I think Anna's durability is fading, but again, just the lack of urgency just left a really bad taste in his last fight. So I'm gonna have to pass again. I think we'll have the two selections in the first two fights, but after that, it's a lot of leans, but a lot of strong leans as well. So you can definitely make some picks there. But it's another lean for me. It's another lean, just him to win by KO. But I don't think anyone should be thinking it's a sure thing with what we saw in his last fight.
No, absolutely not. But I agree with that lean completely. We do have a lot of strong leans on this card. I might sprinkle something on all of them, but my main bets are going to. I think your two picks off the co-main event and the main event tonight are absolutely spot on. I'll be playing those myself. Paul, before we get going here, if you want to quickly recap your official picks on this card, and we will bid the crowd adieu.
Just the main and the co-main event we have picks on. The main event we have Fluffy and Hernandez over 5.5 takedowns. In the co-main we have Erceg just to win by finish, keeping it simple there. I know the value. A lot of people in the comments talk about hunting the value on the, so I think they'll like that prop on the main event. So I think 5.5 takedowns. I think that's definitely the bet of the card.
Absolutely. I think that's a really great pick, Paul. Thanks once again for joining me. My name is Kyle Andrew, joined by Mr. Paul Hughes. 3-0 last week, looking to replicate that this week. 2 official picks on the board. Thanks for watching Fight Life.
Thanks for watching Betting Weekly Fight Life on the Bet Rivers Network.